Guys, so I want to talk about 3 features in my BMW 330i M Sport with xDrive that I wish it had when I purchased the car. I purchased the car from the BMW dealership. It was pre-owned with the BMW certified warranty and everything. Big thing for me was just to see if I could get a pretty solid deal. The features I wanted were the M Sport pack for sure. I did try to look for the adaptive cruise control, which was a big feature for me, but it wasn't make or break. So that was one of the features that I thought I really wanted going into it. I didn't really think about the other 2 features that I later have discovered would be quite nice to have, which are the adaptive suspension as well as the BMW M Sport brakes. So just breaking down why I wish I had each one of those features. As you can see from my channel and my previous videos, I used to have a 2018 Honda Accord, and that had adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, all as standard. And it worked really well. It was very solid on the highway, made long trips very easy to be on the highway. So I had gotten used to it, and that's why I kind of wanted it, but I was also like, okay, well, I'm mostly going to be driving in the city. It may not make the biggest difference, but I realized I do drive enough on the highways and things that it would have been nice to have had. You know, this has the regular cruise control and does have collision warning. This has the driver assist package, but it's the advanced driver assist that includes like the radar cruise control, and that's just one of the features that once I'd gotten used to would have really been nice to have had. Once you're used to driving with being able to have that additional safety while on the highway, especially here where the highway is not the easiest place to navigate. There's always a lot of traffic, so like it would have made sitting in traffic a little bit easier as well. That's one of the features that I really wish I had, worked a little harder. Although the problem is that that feature within the 3 Series is so high up into the packages that you're looking to get that there are not a lot of 3 Series that have them. So at the time when I was looking for the car and my window for looking at them, there really were just a few throughout the country that were even listed with that feature. So that was one of the things that at the time I was like, oh, you know what, maybe I'll be fine without it, but looking back, that would have been a really nice feature to have. The second feature that I really wish I had gotten is the adaptive suspension. This has the M Sport package, so it handles amazing. It drives really well, like getting onto on-ramps, and as well as like if you get onto a nice twisty area, it is, it makes up for it. But on the day-to-day commute within where I live now, the city of Chicago, it's such a firm suspension that I am literally bouncing it everywhere. Anytime I hit a pothole, it feels like I've crashed. We come from that, and I was going at low speed, but it's just such a pain sometimes, especially with the way the roads are. This feature would make a difference based on where you're living. If you live in an area where the roads are in pretty good shape, but Chicago, you're always going through winter, heat in the summer, so the roads are always cracking and potholes. I've actually busted a rim as well, which regardless of the suspension would have happened, but just on the day-to-day with the way the roads are, that would have been it would have made a huge difference. I think that's definitely one of the features that I absolutely would have considered as well, had I had thought about it. I think one of the reasons that I kind of got away from thinking about it was that this car that I have now, where I bought it was out in the suburbs where the roads were nice, and in that area, the few like small bumps and things like that, I was like, okay, the car seems to handle it well. It's not too firm. It is definitely more sporty, much firmer than my Honda Accord, but at the time I was like, it doesn't seem too bad. It drives well enough. So I was okay with it. Clearly that was a mistake. Definitely try to, test drive your car in an area, or even, if it's not the car that you're looking to buy, but a similar model, at least drive it in your area to get a better sense of how your day-to-day is going to be. Because I live in the city, my day-to-day involves a set area, and it's pretty terrible. So on the day-to-day, it is not a fun experience. The last feature that I really would have considered are the M Sport brakes. Now this one does not have them, and you know, it's one of the more rare features. I didn't see too many of them again when I was looking, but at the time the brakes felt good. But I think part of it too is that in my Honda I had upgraded the brakes. I had added new rotors, new brake pads, and it just felt so much more firm in the pedal, in the way it would stop and slow down. And this car does not feel that way, and especially being that this is more of a performance car where you are capable of driving it a lot faster, a lot harder, not having that same feeling or security in the brakes is definitely something that I wish I had more of. So that's something that I probably can adjust by getting, you know, new brake pads or adjusting the disc. So I'm not as concerned about that one. It would have been nice to have at the time, but I also recognize, like, you know, the cost of getting the BMW version, which, to be fair, I may be okay with just, you know, a tier in between. Like, it doesn't have to be the full-on M Sport version. But that's definitely one of the features that I also would have considered. So those are like the three major features. Everything else, this car has navigation, has the heated seats, heated steering wheel. So that's part of the premium package. That was, you know, perfect and ideal. And you know, most people, especially in the northern states, definitely would have optioned for those with all the heated functions. But yeah, those are kind of the big ones that I was definitely looking at and regret now not having. It's not to say that those are problems. I think I'll go through a new video about the problems I've had with this car. There have been a few. It's been pretty solid, but there's definitely been a couple of things that I've had to deal with. But otherwise, you know, when I find the right road, outside of the regular commute, it's been a blast. So yeah, Snaptown Fizzle, and I'll see you in the next video.